Hey guys, welcome to Symphony's
Hey.
Walk with Grace. Today's kind of a special episode. We had somebody reach out and they got a hold of us with a question and we responded to it, but we wanted to give more of an expansion on that. And so this is for you.
This is for you. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And thank you for your support too. We hope that you're able to benefit from all this.
So the question that was asked was, what is the secret to grow close as a family? And I thought it was a beautiful question. I thought it was very heartfelt and very simple and definitely to the point.
Yes.
So I responded with this. I love your question. My best answer is how, which is to be honest, open, and willing. And the steps will find their way to you. So just by doing that piece, you're opening yourself to your own answers, things that will come to you through your own heart, maybe things that you might find, in your wanderings, people you talk to, whatever. Just having an openness to change really truly then creates the change. So the second best step is stillness. Quiet yourself, because the first thing is to open yourself. Well, then you need to spend some time to be quiet and still so that some of those things can kind of come through for you. Quiet yourself with deep breathing and some form of meditation so you can know what's coming up for you. Lastly, work on your own healing, which in many ways in my mind is the most important. We all have trauma, and this trauma gets played out and recycled, in particular in our families. We have to work on our own triggers, and when family members are triggered, we have to work on holding space for them to work through theirs. Lastly, learn about boundaries so you can effectively use them. Boundaries is an ongoing thing. Don't be so stringent. You need stringent boundaries in the moment with whatever's going on with you, but allow them to change as you change and the people around you change.
Yes.
I think that's really important.
And holding space. Now, that's something I'm sure that a lot of people aren't familiar with. If you want to expand on that just a touch.
Okay. Yeah, and that we'll kind of maybe sum it up from there.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're doing a quick one for you today.
We're going to do, kind of a quick one. And grace. The whole process needs grace. Grace is first and foremost being kind to yourself.
Yes.
Tons and tons and tons of self-forgiveness, forgiving the past, knowing that you're not there anymore,
on having understanding for others and yourself, because a lot of people hold regret, and understanding might help relieve some of that, which might help break the cycle. So I feel like understanding is also a very important piece to this, and acceptance. You have to accept the past to move forward. You have to accept each other's differences to be able to be fully comfortable around each other.
Yeah. Yep. We've done a lot of accepting.
Yes,
work,
we have.
haven't we? Yes, we have. So holding space. Holding space is, in a nutshell, putting yourself aside in the moment so that you can allow, and putting yourself aside, putting judgments aside, putting your thoughts aside, because often in communication, as someone's talking, we're like ready for
our defense,
our defense, our comeback, or
front line, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so we're already kind of thinking about what we're gonna say, so we're like half listening, and we're not listening at all, because we're stuck on that piece that we want to put our 2 cents in. So we're gonna put all that aside as best you can, kind of open your heart and put your listening ears on and really, really listen to the other person. And that can be really hard to do if you're triggered. You can't hold space and be triggered at the same time. However, you can go back and forth. I've had this happen where of family members talking to me, and in the beginning I feel good and open and calm, and I'm listening, and all of a sudden they say something and boom, I'm feeling anxious, my body's getting jittery, I have my own thoughts coming in. And when that happens, sometimes I can take my own deep breath and just kind of tell myself, oh, this isn't about me. We're here for the other person right now. I'll deal with that later. For now, I'm just listening. I want them to emote. I want them to share with me whatever they need to. That's holding space. And you can hold space for yourself too, which may sound kind of strange, but you have the self that is actively thinking and emoting, and then you have this other kind of observer self going on. To me, that's your higher self, that's your soul, that's the you that can just kind of observe and kind of hold space for yourself, which is letting yourself do what you need to do, feel what you need to feel, say what you need to say. And this is you in your own space. You're not with someone else.
You can write it out on some paper and burn it. You can just have a good cry.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But because what are we doing when we're holding space? We're being calm, compassionate, caring. We're listening to another person. You can do that in yourself too when you're alone. Mm-hmm. Just allow yourself to feel your feelings. Allow yourself to think your thoughts without judgment. If you pay attention to your own thoughts, you'll hear yourself say things like, that's stupid. Why did I just say that? Why am I thinking that? Oh, that's wrong. I shouldn't do that. That's the self of you that is judgmental. Put that person aside for a minute and say, you know what? You're allowed to feel whatever you need to. You're allowed to think whatever you need to, uncensored. Okay. We're censoring ourselves all the time. We censor it outward. I shouldn't say that. I should say that. And we censor ourselves inside. That's wrong. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, how silly. Can't believe I did that.
How stupid of me.
How stupid of me. You're censoring yourself when you do that.
Basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but ultimately I think the goal here is to create a safe space to emote, right?
Yeah. You're either going to do that for yourself or the other.
Holding space. So holding space is basically giving a safe place to emote and to sort through your thoughts and emotions, or help someone else do that too. And by doing that with your family, you're encouraging and teaching, especially if you have little ones, like, hey, it's totally okay to come talk to me. You know what? We all have bad days. There's days that we all come from home from work and we're just like, oh my God, today was horrible. Rah. Well, they're going to want to do the same thing with school once in a while. And if you hold space, you know what? Mama Bear might want to come out and go, oh, I'm going to go kick that little butthole. And then, you hold space, you put that aside and you're like, hold on. A, it's illegal. B, bad juju. C, it's a freaking child. And D, just let this kid vent. It'll be okay, right? And after they vent, what do? They go play and they're fine, right? So holding spaces, it gives them that safe place to know that, okay, if I need to just release some crap for a minute, I have somebody I can go to that I know it's safe to do that with. And then they're not bottling. And by doing so, you're creating a really calmer environment in your home, I think. And in a way, it brings you guys closer together too. So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. It's a big piece of healing, because how can we heal if we have to keep it all censored? How do we know what we're doing? How does the other person know that they've offended you? How can they possibly share with you if they feel that it's not going to be received well, or it's going to wind up in an argument, or they feel silly or stupid,
or maybe they're worried about being judged?
Yes, all of that. So being able to provide a place, a space that says, you know what, anything goes right now, that's not harmful. Words, and words can be harmful, but
no putting on boxing gloves and going in the backyard where Takahita just rah. for a minute or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
No shattering the plates in the kitchen.
Yeah. And it can be painful. It's, the one that's holding the space, like I said, you can get triggered too. And just, pause it, put it out here and say, no, I'm listening. Let the person work through this. And I have seen over and over and over again, they start out maybe a little hesitant, then when they're feeling a little more secure, like it's okay to be vulnerable here, then those emotions can really start coming out and the words can really start coming out, and it will crescendo. And let yourself know that it's okay. They're gonna get dramatic. All right, let them get dramatic. It's okay, because as they work through that drama, as they work through that cycle, as they work through those emotions, oftentimes, eventually, they'll expend it all, like steam coming out of a kettle, and it's like, oh. And then they're going to start being able to process their own emotions without your help. All you gotta do is just, all you're doing is giving that loving presence, and they'll start processing through.
There's been so many times that I have called her and been like, Mom, rah! And then 10 minutes later I'm like, oh, well, I guess I just got my answer from myself. Now I know what I'm doing. And all she had to do was just once in a while be like, oh man, like she didn't even have to do much. No, just be there. Be present. Like
just be present. And that's the beautiful, Tiffany brings up probably the best point of the whole thing. She figures it out herself after she has
8 times out of 10.
Yes. After the crescendo, after spewing it all out, now her
thoughts, like baby.
Her thoughts are a little calmer, and all of a sudden this known stuff comes in. Ding. It's like, aha, ding. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. Maybe that's what was happening. Oh, I can see, and so we see clearer.
True story.
Yeah.
So we hope that helps, and thank you again for reaching out. Glad we were able to expand on a little bit for you as well. And if anyone else out there has any questions you'd like us to touch on, or any comments, whatever, constructive criticism, anything, just please feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to have you. And thanks so much for all your support.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Mm-hmm.